That's between us.
They used this on Apollo 13, man.
You're good to go, bro.
Reserve me one.
So in this round, we're looking at the future forward category. Watches that are innovative, that will change the world, perhaps of watches, perhaps in general. So to start with you, Andrew, what is your future forward watch?
Well, now I feel like I should have been more comedic in my responses, because I think Frank in the last video just slayed it, and I'm just being too serious. But I want to welcome IWC back to the future wars with the XPL. Yes. I just think this is it's great when brands actually, it was almost going to be called actually new as opposed to future forward, because brands will always tell you that something's future forward and new, but there's a difference between actually new and actually something worth talking about. And I think it's worth talking about. That test that you see of in all the torture tests that brands put watches through, there's the rubber mallet test where they smash the watch with a mallet across the room like a bad Dutch hockey player. So that's 5,000 G's. This is 30,000 G's. So it's like 6 mallets. I don't know. We can go on about what it's achieved, but I was really happy to see, and I think it's part of Chris Granger-Ayres' leadership. He's really doing stuff with RWC. There's a lot of, we know from leaders within the industry, often their role is to create hype. But I just feel like he's a man of substance, and I think that he's set a mandate for IWC to join the future wars. I like it a lot. I really like the watch, and I think it looks sick.
Yeah, it feels like they're stepping forward a bit, IWC, with their new watches. It's very nice.
And doing things like the black watch for Lewis Hamilton on a 48-hour kind of timeline for Black Lives Matter last year. These are things of substance. These are things that essentially go beyond a marketing kind of play to something real. And I don't know, you don't want to get too, I don't want to wax too lyrical, but I feel like there's a really consistent there's a consistent level of quality and actuality from IWC. It excites me, so I like it. That's mine.
Great pick. And you, Wei?
I gotta say, I really dug the Solar Beat tank must, right? There've been, so I like G-Shocks, obviously, and there've been tons of solar powered G-Shocks, but they always look like they're solar powered watches, right? Yep. And I love the fact that, well, first of all, I love the Tank Must collection, because I love the fact that when this collection was created in the 70s, it was basically a bridge to turn Cartier from something that was a very specific niche but super high-end jeweler to something to like a powerhouse of a brand. And it basically reached the next generation. So I think the question today, especially when you have I consider Cyril Vigneron to be kind of a visionary dude. And one of the things that he's been talking about is called deconsumption, right? Which is quite extraordinary that you have a guy that's leading the brand that's got makes the third most amount of watches in the world, in Switzerland, and he's talking about deconsumption, consuming less, right? But that's the world we're going to live in after COVID, right? Like everyone talks about 5 years worth of acceleration in terms of digitization, and you three guys have been amazing during this period, obviously. But we're also going to have 5 years worth of acceleration in terms of not being a dick and fucking up the planet, right? And I think everyone needs to figure out what their stance on that is going to be. And I like the fact that Cartier made the first luxury watch world's solar powered watch, but they also made it in a watch that doesn't feel like it's got a solar panel on it. Right, so you've got these micro perforations in the Roman numerals that's powering this the Solar Beat movement, and it doesn't need a service for 16 years. So I think that's pretty cool, right? And I guess when he talks about deconsumption, it's about not buying frivolous things like fast fashion, right? But buying things that are durable. So a design that's 104 years old, which is the Tank Louis Cartier design, which is the design of this watch, but with the technology of today. So I thought that watch was dope.
That's rad.
Cool. Great choice. Frank, what is your choice?
I agree with Andrew. The XPL from IWC, it is just so cool. Finally something that's cool. Future forward, but also funny. I mean, do we need it? No, we don't. But it's mechanical, it's technical. I love it. I was about to give a call to Chris, like say, reserve me one. And then I saw the price. I was like, ouch.
You can have a few Rivieras for the same price. So you want one of those.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You might get a gold Riviera for that price.
I always feel so embarrassed when I commit to something only to later realize I can't afford it and then I have to back out of it.
Oh shit, that happens so often.
Nice.
So for example, I have the privilege of doing a special order Cartier, right? And I'm super stoked about it. But of course, then I was like, because I'm super inspired by Otto Montanari, and he has all of his watches on bracelets, right? So I was like, well, I think I'd like to have it on a bracelet. Is that possible? And they said, okay, yes, it's possible. Incidentally, the cost is $100,000 US. And then I was like, I can't afford that.
But in that moment, you realized, I am not Eric Koo today.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I cannot have a crash for every day of the week. It is not going to happen for me.
Absolutely.
I love Eric Koo's crash collection.
He's
I love
amazing.
all his collection. But
I just love Eric Koo. I just love he's been one of those real pioneer dudes in terms of taste. And really was in the Cartier before anyone else. But RJ, we should be asking you, what is your future forward watch?
Yeah, so it's not the IWC, but it is a watch that has already been mentioned in the previous video where we wore entirely different clothes. It's a Panerai. And it's the E-Steel one, the E-Lab ID, the PAM 1225. It's not so much because of the watch. I like Panerai, but it's not so much because of this watch, but it's more because of the concept of using recycled materials. I think... For me, when I saw the watch up front under embargo, I was really, is this luxury? Because to me, perhaps my generation or perhaps our generation or before, something recycled doesn't automatically feel like luxury. Luxury is something new, something newly created from new materials. And recycled had always had, for me, a bit of a negative connotation to it. But I think for the current generation or new generation, I think that's totally different. That it's a form of luxury that you have recycled materials there. And I know Prada is big on it, and there are some other fashion companies. There is, in the car industry, it's quite common to do this, but that's, to me, still not a luxury object, even if it's a Bentley or Rolls Royce. I mean, it's luxury, but it's a car. And for watches, I mean, it's quite cool too that they are exploring this. And of course, with the straps, I think some brands already made their steps in using paper and plants and whatever, drugs. And now with the watches that they use for steel and so on, and even movement parts, recycled materials, I think it's a cool step forward. Whether you like the watch or not, that's not so much the thing. It's more or less the concept that is future forward.
RJ, I totally agree with you. And I actually, there's a couple of companies that are really interested in this. So Chopard already was using recycled steel for the whole Alpine Eagle collection, right? I think they're calling it lucent steel. It's pretty dope. And I love that watch, incidentally. But I also really liked this.
Wait.
Sorry, guys. I've gone dark for some reason, but you can still hear me. I really like
Dark Horse now.
I am the dark horse. I like the submersible version of the Lab ID, the world's most recycled watch. I think it was over 98% recycled.
Yeah.
And so the case is recycled titanium, the dial is recycled titanium, the plate and bridges is recycled titanium.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The loom is recycled, and even the silicone for the escapement is recycled as well. So listen, I guess we're all from the generation that's kind of before this, but I agree with RJ. We have to listen to what the young kids want, and every millennial and every generation. I'll give you an example. Every time we get a new intern in here, or we get someone that's applying for a job, they also want to know about what do you guys stand for in terms of your ethics, right? And 10 years ago, or when we were growing up, you would never think to ask that question, but today it's an important thing. And, it's a good thing, right? It's the future. And I think we all, we're all of us are also working on projects this year. Andrew last year did an amazing job with the bushfire, charity as well. He raised a ton of money just to help out, right? And then we're working on a project this year as well to raise money for charity as well. And even though we're in the media, there's no reason why we shouldn't try to help out as well, right? So, like, I guess it's just, sorry, I'm not trying to preach, but I think that everyone should try to do their bit,
Yeah, agreed.
So that was a really deep note to finish on, but I think it's interesting with Panerai because I don't know if you guys have seen that Seaspiracy documentary that's now, trending on Netflix, but Panerai having such a connection to the sea, it kind of gives it even more authenticity. So much of the waste in the world is from fishing nets and aquatic things that it just struck me when you were talking. I'm like, this is actually another level of authenticity to it. So, we were all having a fun time until you actually went really deep on us, RJ. Thanks a lot, man. Now I'm like all depressed about the future of the world and how we all want gold Calatravas and the kids want like recycled shit. We're terrible.
Like Seaspiracy was crazy, right? And like that whole idea of bycatch, like just pissed, like, so when I first found out about these Japanese dudes killing the dolphins, right? Like I actually wanted to go there with like a freaking like assault rifle and just shoot those motherfuckers because it pissed me off, right? Sorry, I don't know. I'm supposed to be saying this kind of thing, but then but then you find out that actually so many more dolphins are caught and killed every day just by bycatch if Seaspiracy is correct. And yeah, like 90% of that documentary made me want to swear off commercially farms or commercially sourced seafood. But then 10% of me really wanted to eat sushi. So I don't know what that says about me.
I think maybe the way we can absolve our guilt is to all just buy this Panerai watch. It's come up.
We're going to buy the Panerai. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. One each.
Yeah, one each. And then we cancel before they ship it because we don't have money.
Okay. That's a damn good question. That's what I want to ask you guys. What did you buy this? What did you buy from the stuff that just came out? Or since the beginning of this year to now, which watch did you buy?
Yeah, that one.
Sorry,
Chronomasters. I bought the Chronomasters.
The same as Andrew has.
Nice, fantastic.
And the 41, the chrono, the 41 millimeter pilot's chronograph in green with the brown leather strap and a bracelet. Hey, look at us, Jinx. That's my two. What about you guys?
RJ, what did you buy? Or what are you thinking about buying?
Well, I ordered a new Moonwatch because,
Really? No.
That's absolutely outrageous. What are the odds?
Which one though? Did you get the white gold, the Canopus gold?
No, because that would take me some extra newspaper rounds. No, it's just the normal one, Hasselite crystal. Just a basic Moonwatch. I think that's the one to have anyway. It suits the rest of the collection as well. That really doesn't answer your question properly, I guess. I didn't order anything else yet, but I really love the white birch from Grand Seiko.
Oh,
I really, really love it. I only think they messed up the bracelet. The bracelet is too wide, it's too thick, it's all brushed, and I never think I would say this, but I miss the polished, like in between links. The bracelet is too brushed for this watch.
Okay, so there's a bunch.
I've also ordered that, by the way, guys, and I'm just waiting. I've got a long wait. I think anyone that orders a white birch is gonna have to just get some Zen training because it ain't gonna turn up tomorrow.
No, but it's a beautiful watch. So I'm really thinking of getting that one. I need to give something away, I guess, right?
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Wally, look, Frank, what are you going to buy? Are you going to buy anything else? And what about you, Wei? You haven't answered what you've bought.
Okay, let's see what RJ is going to give away.
I know these are hot under collectors.
That's nice, dude. That's really nice.
It is. I love pens. And a few years ago, well, actually, I think 2009, does it say? So I don't know. So it might need a new filling because perhaps it's dried out. But this is a very collectible Apollo 11 pen for the Omega Speedmaster that you would get with a 40th anniversary in 2009.
So guys, okay, I love the cloche in platinum. I love the 6119 in white gold. So I agree with you, Frank. But I'm just like a girl waiting by the telephone for the special boy to call. I'm just hoping that I'll get allocated a certain watch with a green dial. So we'll see.
Oh,